Alright, hi guys, this is Dragonfangs. This is my attempt at a advanced tutorial for Zero Mission 90%. This is going to be way more extensive compared to the beginner tutorial. Excuse me. This is going to be way more extensive than the beginner tutorial. We're going to be I'm going to be explaining multiple ways to go through each room, trying to be as optimal as possible. I'd like to clarify that whatever I say in this tutorial is not absolute. It's not like it's not necessarily the definite fastest way to do anything. It is. I'm going to explain exactly what I do in most circumstances, and to the extent of my knowledge, I'm going to explain what a lot of other people do, if there are alternatives. So, like, whatever you do, I urge you to like test the various ways through rooms to find what you find most comfortable, to find what you find most consistent. Consistency is usually king in these circumstances for single segment speedrunning. Even if there's a trick that saves like several seconds, if you can only do that 10% of the time, you're never gonna finish a run. So in most cases, you want to go for consistency. But whatever. So to start off, I know people are gonna ask about this. So I'm gonna explain how to create a time attack file. This isn't really important. Time attack doesn't change a lot. It records your time. If you go into, you can like check your records in time attack. It's not super important, but like it might be nice to have. You also cannot copy time attack files, so you can't do. It's really hard to do segmented time attack runs because you can't make up backup saves. But whatever, people like this time attack file. So what you do is you have a completed file. So you need to have this screw attack icon next to your save file, and you go to start game, and then you press up, left, right, down, and you get a new option for a new time attack. These directions, it took me way too long to realize this. These directions are the screw attack symbol. They're the up, left, right, down. So that's a way to remember that. So you can start a new time attack and it's gonna erase your file and whatever. It's, if you feel like having that, I use it, but it's like I said, not really important. You can keep track of your times yourself most of the time. But anyway, so we're getting into the tutorial. I'm gonna use save states usually to like retry rooms a lot. This first room is actually fairly annoying. So what you want to do, I shouldn't pause. You want to go left to the morph ball, obviously. But there are these guys in the way, actually. They don't come into play right at the start though, but you run left and you try to keep your jumps short. That's really important for platforming. Like don't do like super high jumps. Keep your jumps like as short as you can. And as you go, there could be a guy up here. You just shoot him. It's not a big deal. There could also be this guy down here. Could be all the way over at this end, which is like that's RNG. But if he is, I should see if I can get that RNG. I'm gonna cheat a tiny bit. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so if he's on the left, you want to try and shoot him. Getting one hit is usually enough for him to slow down enough for you to be able to jump up here. But killing him is obviously safer. Try it, that's not important. You want to try to get the morph ball at this position. Like you want to be able to land on the pillar later after you've grabbed it. So you want to hit it like this. Go to the text. And once you're here, you want to go over to the right again. There are a couple of ways to do this optimally, because you want to be morphed for this tunnel, and you can. Oh, I paused that way back down or whatever. My timing is way off. So you can either jump over here and morph on the ground, but that's slow. You want to morph in the air whenever possible. That's sort of hard to do though, because you're moving. You have to morph pretty late to make it over there. Or I guess not really. You also sort of want to morph close to the ground though, because to avoid this bounce thing. Like if you fall with morph ball from a height, you're gonna bounce, and bouncing is pretty bad. You slow down quite a lot, so you want to avoid that. I personally try to morph on this pillar, but that's like, you don't have to do that. You can also jump over here and then morph mid-air after running off the pillar. That might be easier. Or you can fall down, jump over the pillar and do like this. All of these work, and do whatever works for you, but try to morph in air if possible. If you're not comfortable morphing in air, it's not a big deal. It's like half a second, a couple of, like, not even, maybe a couple of frames, tens of frames, morphing on the ground. But I try to morph in the air. At this point, if the Gmer was over here, it's gonna be empty here, which is nice. That's better. That's good for you, because that makes this easier. You can just morph and go over, unmorph as late as possible. Unmorph like right before jumping. You don't want to unmorph and then run a bit and then jump. If you're gonna jump, you want to jump right out of morph. So you like press up and jump immediately. But if the Gmer wasn't at the pillar at the start, as was the case here, there are a couple of different ways to handle it. The fastest way that I usually do is to jump over it if you can. Like that's perfect for that RNG, but it's sort of tight. Like you have to do this first part almost perfectly in order to not get hit. Like the way I got hit there is fine. Like getting hit that way, it's fine. It takes almost no time. You cancel the damage boost right away with the ceiling and you keep running. But if you get hit to the left, like this, that's bad. You want to avoid that at all costs. If you feel like you made some kind of mistake early on, like you missed one of these jumps or whatever, moving was sloppy, whatever, you'll get more of a feel for how fast you need to be to beat this Gmer. But if you're uncomfortable, like not uncomfortable, if you're uncertain if you're gonna beat him or not, you can just kill him. It's better to kill him than to. That's better than getting hit to the left. So just kill him and jump over. I'm trying to get spin jumps. It's not a big deal. I'm just there again. But the optimal way is to jump over him, like this. I also, preferably you don't want to get hit. Like, oh god, Ah, crap. I'm usually better at this. Oh, really? Come on. Why can't I do this now? I was able to do it earlier. There we go. So after this, there are I'm already aiming down. This is more of a reflex than anything. I never actually explained why I'm doing this. I'm aiming down to kill these zoomers. There are potentially two Gmers. I keep switching the names. There's potentially one over here, and there's potentially one over here underground. You want to kill them if you can, without stopping. This is sort of hard to do. This is a pretty tight window to shoot both of those shots. I'm getting it every time now, just because I'm trying to explain how hard it is. Like, it's very easy to trade, like get a double damage or like miss the first shot or whatever. It's sort of hard to kill it, and if you don't think you can kill them, if you're like just starting out or whatever and just want to get a good time, jumping over them isn't too bad. It is slower, but it's not a lot slower. And this guy is an asshole. He can be, if he's right there, see I can do it. If he's right over the door like he is now, you want to do this room really quickly in order to do that. This is the fastest way through the next room. You want to kill that thing, and then you want to open this door before he reaches it. If you get it late, like I'm gonna get a hit now, you're gonna hit him first of all. If you don't hit him, opening the door just makes him fall down and be in the way. So if he's in that bad position, it's like you have to be really fast. You have to not make any mistakes in the rest of the room in order to get it in time. But the optimal way to do this is to make a shot and morph before you land. You can also just shoot the door and morph on the ground, because doing that is sort of hard, so that's also fine. As long as you can open the door before he gets to it, it's okay. But still faster than doing the other method. Or more consistent, I should say. So that's also cool. You should try, if you're going for really high times, you should try learning the shooting more thing. It's kind of tight and it's kind of awkward. It's like a kind of awkward button combination to do. But it's, yeah, I wasn't fast enough. But it's very learnable and very consistent once you can do it. And if I usually do this as if I fail anything, if I get hit by any of these two zoomers, if I miss a jump, if I do whatever, if I feel like I'm going through the room slowly, I'm gonna assume he's gonna be in a bad position. I don't. You can probably react to see if he's here or not and do whatever strat you want. But I usually try and notice if I get hit, I'm gonna do the secondary strat. I should probably. I'm gonna show the next room first. Hang on. So can't even do it. Too strong. So the optimal way is to get morph there, morph under this thing. As soon as you get over here, unmorph, shoot, morph again, and keep going. It's gonna keep you in morph ball through this tunnel as well, all the way over to the statue, which is what you're looking for. So you want to do that pretty quickly. Like the unmorph, I was just doing it slowly to demonstrate. It looks a bit more like this. So that's how you want to do that room if possible. A lot of times it's not going to be. A lot of times you're gonna get hit. You're gonna get hit by one of these demons. These are pretty hard to kill, like I said earlier. It's very, very common to get hit by them. If you do get hit, the backup is to not morph. You shoot the door, and then you keep going. I'm getting hit on purpose here at show point. So you get under him. Since you open the door later, he doesn't actually fall until you get there, and you have enough time to get under it. There's a lot of time to get under it. It's fine. And then you sort of you want to jump right before you enter the door. Like you want to barely. Do you see how Samus is in her somersault position, somersault sprite? You see how she's sort of spinning. You can see her feet. And then you want to kill this guy. This guy can be in two positions, but it doesn't really change that much. If he's going to the left, he's really easy to kill. If he's going to the right, it's a bit harder, but still very possible. I'm gonna get him to the left all the time now because RNG. If that's how RNG works. I should be gonna go to the right, I think. Yeah, you can just kill him the same way to kill the demons earlier. If you miss a shot, you're gonna destroy the ground, which is sort of annoying, falling down and wasting a bunch of time. But it's not that big of a deal. After he's dead, you want to open door, keep running, and then try to morph mid-air after falling down the ledge. The reason you want to wait as long as possible before morphing there, because moving horizontally in the air as morphal is slower than while not morphed. This is only true in the air. In the ground, they're the same speed on the ground, but in the air, morphball is slower horizontally. So okay, assuming you get all this is taking a lot of time. This game is complicated, I guess. So I'm assuming you get over here, which is like that's not gonna happen every time. Sadly, we're like one room into the game, and this is already calls for resets occasionally. You just want to get over here and jump into his hands. Again, if possible, morph in the air to save a tiny bit of animation time. But right here, it's not that big of a deal. You need to watch this. There's no way to skip this statue. You have to watch this. You can, for these text boxes, you don't have to mash anything. Like you can just hold a direction. You can show input display, yeah. So you can just hold a direction, and that's gonna dismiss the text box as early as possible. This jump is nothing complicated. I actually have an audio cue for this, but that's that's almost sort of silly. It's not that hard. Dun 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 dun. Dun. Dun, 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 dun. So in the second, like, I don't know musical terms. There, the text box as it goes. So I listen to when the music starts up again to time the jump after the text box disappears, but that's like a tiny thing. This room is really annoying. Brinstar is gonna be a big segment, guys. Brinstar is super. There's so much stuff going on in Brinstar. It's so hard. I hate this segment. But no, anyway, in this room there is a specific enemy. This guy. This guy is almost always gonna be in your way when you get up here. He can be in two different positions, like most enemies, but it's usually like he's always in the way anyway. Like I just demonstrated, if you're really quick on these platforms, like that's not quick enough. If you're really slow, he's already out of the way anyway. But if you're like sorta fast-ish, he's gonna be right in your way, and you can't get past him. You have to wait for him to move away, and then jump up there. So it's especially important in this section to have your platforming really on point. You wanna jump over. If you're sorta slow, it's hard to be sorta slow. But if you're kind of slow-ish and you manage to jump over him, but you don't reach the platform, like you don't kind of jump like that, you can try to be ready for that fall. And just volume. Can't. I can't even sort of fail it. This does happen way more often than you think. Like you can do that, save it, if you're ready. But beating, like we call this beating the Ripper, and beating the Ripper sort of takes a while to get good enough at the platforming to be able to do this consistently. I can do it every time now, but it took me months to get this room down fast enough. Like not exclusively grinding this room, but just playing the game enough to be fast enough through these platforms. So anyway, the method I use to get up these platforms is like you can get up this way on multiple ways. If you do it fast, that guy's never a problem. So I jump here, jump normal jumps through all these, and a wall jump here, normal jump, normal jump. This is really basic, but I've found this to be the fastest way personally. There are other ways where you can wall jump these. I'm pretty sure you can still, yeah, you can wall jump those if you feel like it. If that makes you, if that feels better for you. It's potentially slower, I guess, because wall jumps have sort of a startup animation. So they're, on paper, they're slower than normal jumps, but it's like 4 frames or something. So if you, and again, consistency over everything. So if you feel like wall jumping is easier, and it might be because these jumps are kind of an awkward height. So if wall jumping makes more sense to you, if you feel like wall jumping is easier in this particular instance, do that first and then do the rest of the room the same way. The second half you can also do this for the second half instead of wall jumping, which a lot of people also do. That also works. I like the wall jump personally. I think this is slightly, I do think this is slightly slower, but it's like there's no wall jump, so it's way easier if that's a thing for you. So all of these combinations are entirely valid for getting through here and do whatever you want to do. I'm not used to doing with these wall jumps. Like all of them lets you beat the Ripper. I got the good position now though. He can be slightly, like he can start on the left or start on the right. He's starting on the left now, which means he's barely reached the wall when I get there. If he starts on the right, he's gonna be already turned around and going to the right, which makes it way harder to skip. Yeah, so it's not a big deal if you can't beat the Ripper immediately, but keep in mind that that's the goal here. That's something you want to do. Okay. So the rest of the room is pretty straightforward. You can, like, I got a bad position now, but if you're lucky, you can jump up here, and that is faster. But this guy has a tendency to be in the way. If you do this damage boost is perfect. If you can do that, it's very timing specific though. Like if you get this, that's perfect. That is so good. But that almost never happens. That is super hard to do. Most players would just run over here and jump up this way. But if you're feeling lucky, you can try to wall jump up here. Either get a damage booster, if the RNG is good, he'll be on the other side of the platform. You're free to jump up there, whatever. I would just recommend doing this though. You can try that for a while and see for yourself why that's not really a good idea. I mean, whatever works for you. Again, consistency over everything. So normal jumps, all these, and then you want to do these wall jumps are kind of tricky. You don't have to do them. I guess you can go over here. No, that makes no sense. I always do the wall jumps. I don't know what the secondary stat is. Probably this. Yeah. You should be able to wall jump like at least semi-consistently if you're following this guide. So if you can't wall jump up all the way there, at least you can do that. But you wanna be able to wall jump up there. So the method is to do this has to be spaced quite well. You want to do exactly three wall jumps, and they have to be like, if you wall jump too high, you're gonna hit. If you're too high, you're gonna hit this ledge. You're gonna hit this. You're gonna bonk this and not make it. If you're too low, you're not gonna make it up there. Period. So the spacing is quite precise. You can also wall jump off this platform if you're too low. That's a perfect jump will make it up there straight up, like this. But and not so perfect one won't, so you're gonna have to wall jump. I usually try to not assume I'm gonna make it and wall jump anyway, no matter what. It makes me do like a weird, stupid jump when I land, but I'd rather have that than fall down. Once you get up here, again, you can either jump up on this, do a normal jump, or you can wall jump off this thing. It doesn't matter. For these jumps, the same. You can wall jump off of all of these, except this one. I think it's not worth it to do with fast wall jump, but these are fine. So do whatever you want. Do whatever feels good to you. At this point, you want to try to hit at least one of these blocks, preferably two, if possible. Where am I? Okay. You want to try to hit, like, just shoot 2 shots quickly. Just hold, like, while running here, start holding diagonally down. Just keep holding L through these jumps and just shoot 2 quick shots. That's what I do. Or shoot 1 shot, whatever. It's faster. Shooting 2 shots actually takes a couple of frames extra because you sort of have to stop. And most of the time that second shot misses. That second shot is pretty precise to get. It's like a slight Doppler or a slight curving to get that, so it's hard. I always try to shoot 2. A lot of the time I get 2 as well because I've been doing that for a while. The point of that is that these blocks do not respawn. They don't respawn after you've exited and went back into the room. They're still gone. So when you get back here later on, you're gonna go back here when going from Ridley to Crate. These are still gonna be gone, and you can save a couple of shots on the way back. At least hitting 1 is, in a lot of categories, is actually super important, or more important, because you can't hit, like with a normal beam, with a like standard short beam, you can't hit. I should probably demonstrate this with the block there. You can't hit that block. I guess you can if you... Yeah, okay, cool. That should probably keep in mind. But you normally can't reach that block, so you're gonna have to use a missile or do the fancy Morph thing I just did. Which is where you shoot and then you morph immediately. And because of how Samus's movement affects beams, the beams go slightly farther if you start running after it. But whatever, at least try to hit 1. It's good enough. Then get up here, and you want to hit... These are a very specific set of blocks that disappear. It's these specific ones. So generally, you want to try and hit this block while running back. This is sort of hard. This is like, I think that's a 2-frame window hitting that, like, oops. Hitting it like that. It depends really much, like it depends way. It's so dependent on your like sub-pixel position and your movement speed. I think it could be, like on certain sub-pixels, it's a 1-frame window, I think, hitting that block while running diagonally. But you want to try, usually, and then if you hit it, that's all good and dandy, you're down here. If you hit it perfectly, I should have... Yeah, I can have... This is hard. You can do that. If you can shoot, you can start aiming down as soon... I'm gonna kill it. You can start aiming down as soon as you leave the ground. Assuming you only hit this block and not the block afterwards, it's really easy to just hold down as soon as you leave the ground and start mashing. And you're gonna hit all the blocks. So that's the optimal way to go through that. But it's, like I said, hitting this diagonal is actually really hard. Whatever, I'm not gonna destroy your ears by doing that. So hitting that diagonal is actually kind of hard. And if you miss it, you're gonna end up over here and just like awkward stuff. You're gonna have to improvise something. A lot of people also jump here to do it like this. It's way easier It's a bit slower, but it's way easier, so it might be something you want to try. If you get this and fall down, you're gonna have to jump and shoot twice to get down here. It's it's sort of whatever. But keep in mind that this diagonal is hard, so if you're not getting it, don't be like discouraged. It happens. Keep going. If you want to be really optimal, I guess you can potentially shoot a few blocks here while falling down. I don't have a good way to do this, like without slowing down. Like something like that. The tool assisted run does this. It shoots 2 blocks on this side as well before going on. Before moving on, but it's whatever. It's hard to get that in there. Anyway, we keep moving. This room is pretty straightforward. You run off the ledge. You're gonna hit the wall. So as soon as you hit this block, you just let go of every direction, and you'll fall straight down to this part. If you hold down, if you press down, you'll be in prime position to morph. And again, try to morph as late as possible to avoid the bounce. If you morph all the way up here, she's gonna bounce, and you're gonna lose a bunch of time because she can't go into tunnels while bouncing. So try to morph as late as possible. Go through here, and then I usually morph here, unmorph there. There are several places it's fine to unmorph. You can unmorph as soon as you want to unmorph in the air as well, because if you unmorph on the ground, you're gonna start crouching. You're gonna end up crouched, and it's sort of hard. Like, it takes a while to get out of crouch animation. You want to unmorph in the air. You can unmorph here. Keep going. You can unmorph right before you land. This is what I do. Or you can keep going and unmorph here. It's not a big deal. Whatever feels good to you. And then you want to fall on here. I usually do this kind of thing to remove momentum, because if you have too much momentum, you're gonna end up over here. Like, even if you let go of the stick, I say stick because I play with a stick. You don't. If you let go of the D-pad, I'm sorry, that was unnecessary. If you let go of the D-pad, you kind of keep moving the direction you're going for a tiny bit. Like, she decelerates. Samus doesn't like stop on a dime in the air. So I usually do that kind of thing just to stop my momentum. Just like turn around quickly and then turn around again. And that's the proper way to get through that room. Just fall down here. That guy could be going to the left, and if he's going to the left, you're going to get hit. It's possible to not get hit, but it's hard. It's very position specific. It's better to just accept the fact that you're getting hit. Oh, excuse me. It's better to just accept the fact that you're getting hit and keep going with it. So I personally do like this turnaround thing. This is going by really fast, so I'm gonna do this motion. Like, I turn around quickly, and then I start spinning. Since I do the turnaround, I'm gonna hit this part of the wall. Oh, that's sprite overlap. I hit this part of the wall, and as soon as I start moving left here, I hold right. And since we don't have power grip yet, I'm not gonna grab anything. I'm just gonna cruise all the way over here. Land here and be down. If you wanna be, I mean, that's what I do. As long as you don't land on anything, and as long as you get over here and like only land on that middle block, you're fine. Like, whatever you do is fine. It's good. If you want to be really optimal here, you can do a jump extend. If you can do this in one jump extend, you are amazing. It's possible in one jump extend, but it's really hard. But it's very possible in 2 jump extends like that. But it saves like 3 frames if you get it, and if you don't get it, you lose a bunch of time. and by a bunch of time I mean like 10 frames. I wouldn't recommend doing this. It's if you want to be really fancy, you can go for it, I guess. But it's generally not worth it. If you can get it in one jump extend, which is like do it as like right at the start here, it's super hard. and not hit this thing. Whatever. If you manage to do it in one jump extend, you're still saving like 10 frames. That might be worth it if you can actually do that consistently. But if you say you can do it consistently, I'm inclined to not believe you. But hey, whatever works for you. Nothing special here. Keep running. You do not have to jump from this pillar if like you're getting into the tiny stuff, but you don't have to jump from this. You can just run off. So you just run off, get the missile tank, skip the tanks, get back, nothing special. This fight is hard. There's a thing we refer to as the double hit. You can get a double hit on this boss. I'm gonna try to explain double hit as well as I can, but first I'm gonna demonstrate how to kill the boss, how to fight the boss without it. Not that hard. You just like shoot a thing, you shoot the eye. You want to try to make him move diagonally, so you move to the side, and if you're morphed he can't hit you. As long as he's moving diagonally he can't hit you while morphed. So you just go over here, morph, gets there, wake up, do this thing, go over here, do the same thing. He might... why am I jumping? I'm not sure if I can get this RNG now because it's super random. But he might start, yeah, he starts doing this sometimes. Which is mostly bad, but also not, also sort of good because you get missile drops. And missile drops are super important. If that happens to you, he does it, a point is that he does it way more often if you hit him like early here. If you hit him on the way up, he's way more likely to go into spikes. Oops. So what you want to do is try to have a missile drop on screen like that. That's good. So just leave it there and kill him, and you get a missile drop, and you get full missiles, which is what you want. That makes the next room perfect. So it's like getting spikes isn't all bad. It wastes a couple of seconds, but at least you get guaranteed drops, which is cool. But anyway, if you wait here, he still might do spikes, but it's far more likely that he won't. Just to spike the enemy. It's random, but we're fairly certain that it happens way more often if you hit him on the way up. But it's like a timing thing. But anyway, the first two you can grab. The last two spikes are gonna be there long enough until he dies. The two first drops are gonna disappear before he dies, so leaving him on the screen isn't. There's no point to leaving him on screen. I'm just gonna demonstrate. So if you leave these, he's not gonna shoot more spikes for the first place, which is super annoying and makes it really slow. And they're gonna disappear. So it's like let the drops from the two last spikes remain. And don't collect charge beam. Don't wait for charge beam here. There's no point in charge yet. It does not help the rest of Brinstar at all. So just go here. As soon as he dies, just run. Go into the next room. It doesn't matter. Even if you don't see his death animation, the charge beam spawns and it's left here for us to grab later. So just leave it. But the real meant way to fight this boss is using doubles. I missed it there. Doubles are hard. I hope I can do them though. No, I want to get it off. That was a double. You see how it changed colors to like reddish immediately? That's because I hit him with two missiles on the same frame. I can show you in frame advance. I think I should be able to do this. Why am I not shooting? No, I mistimed that. That was good. So you can see it changed its color to like reddish immediately. This is super tight. This is hard to do properly. But I mean, it just works occasionally. There's very little reason to not try. Like, assuming I failed twice. Like, assume I failed twice. I still have missiles to kill him. Like, I'm out of missiles now, but I'm not gonna not kill the boss. So you can try it one time, and if you fail, you can wait here and try again. And you can get it on the second try as well. I got it on the first. Oh. Emulator, please. Oh, my emulator is getting crazy. You can get it on the second hit as well. I recommend you try this. Like, maybe sit and grind for a few hours if you're feeling really adventurous. But just try this every run. Eventually it's gonna work. Eventually it's gonna start working. But if you need specifics, the timing is it's like two separate 2-frame windows pretty much. You have a 2-frame window after you shoot. There's a 2-frame window to jump and a 2-frame window to shoot the second missile. It's two separate 2 frames. But you wanna shoot, wait a tiny bit, then jump. Don't jump immediately. Wait a tiny bit, and then shoot the second missile pretty high up. Like pretty close to the eye. As I could see when I was doing the frame add-ons. What you want to do is shoot, wait 1, 2, 3, start jumping 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, shoot. So that hits him. I mean, if the frame counts help you at all, that's the timing you want. So you want to try to wait 4 frames between shooting and jumping, and then 10 frames between jumping and shooting the second shot. Like, no one is actually counting frames at this stage, but it helps to realize that the timing is way different. So, I mean, the timing I try to keep in my head to do this is a badum-tush kind of thing, like a drum snare kind of thing. Rim shots, timing. And that's like close enough. That usually works for me. This is really hard. I'm getting these way more often now than I was expecting to get during this demonstration. If you can't do this, don't worry. This is hard. Like, people can go, like, good runners. I know this happens to Sam and Mobius and like other good runners, that they can't get a double for like a week. They'll be running and they never get the double, not a single time, and then suddenly it works again. It's like you get episodes where it doesn't work. This is really hard, but you should try. There's very little reason to not try. So this next room is also pretty critical because you need missile drops to get through Hive room, which is coming up. If you kill this, if you do the doubles, if you get the double, okay, I can't get it. If you don't get the double like this is a bad situation. With zero missiles, this might put you in a reset position. I'm gonna say this, even though I say there's very little reason to not go for a double, there is reason to not go for a double twice. Could I get... Okay. If you go for a double twice and miss it both times, and don't get drops, you're out of missiles. There is a red door in the next room, and if you don't get a single missile drop, you are stuck. You need to go on a farm to get through to the next room. So if you're in a no reset situation, so like if you just make doing a no reset run, if you're doing a race, if you're in a marathon, whatever, if you're in a no reset situation, I wouldn't do the second double. It's too risky. If you miss both, like you can get stuck. I'll show you later where that is, but you can get stuck. Crap. Whatever, I'm getting drops, it's fine. Actually, this is not fun. I want to demonstrate it without drops. So if you get the double, or if you do the not even trying the double, you're gonna have 2 missiles here. This is the norm. If you don't get spikes, you're gonna be between 0 and 2 missiles right here. Actually, I'm gonna try and get the... There we go, get the double. Oh, I ran to it already. I can do this. There we go. So this room is annoying. You need a bunch of missile drops. There are potentially 4 enemies for you to kill and get the drops from, and you want to be at 5 missiles. Oops. Whoa. So this dreamer can be on the left or the right. If he's on the right, you can kill him. Too bad, not up. If he's on the left, you jump up and shoot 2 beams like that. It's fine, whatever. If you already have, if you got spikes, or if you're like really overconfident that you're gonna get drops later on, you can wall jump past him. You can wall jump on this part to get past him. He's on the way if you're trying to do it the way I normally do, which is that. But I usually go up here, shoot 2 shots no matter what. I can't react fast enough to see if he's there or not, so I shoot at least 1 shot. And then if he's not there, well, whatever, I just jump up. If he is there, shoot another shot. Hopefully get a missile drop from him. And then keep going. This guy can be on the left or on the right. It doesn't really matter where he is. He's always going to be in a position where you can kill him anyway, or where you almost have to kill him anyway. Like he's going to be over here going this way. He's going to be right about there when you get there, or he's going to be right about here going this way. So no matter what you do, he's in the way. So you want to kill him, get his drop. That was good. Like occasionally these guys don't drop anything, and that's a big problem. He can be, this guy can be there going under here, or he can be over here going up this way. And if he's up there, you just wall jump up and shoot 2 shots down, get his drop if possible. Like that's really bad. They have a tendency to drop health because they're assholes. I wanna get good drops so I can demonstrate what it's supposed to look like. There we go. Then you jump up here. Okay, I just wanted to see about where this demon was. So I mean, you get drops. It's cool and all. You go up here, shoot this door. If you're at a low missile count right now, like I'm at 4. 4 is what you want to be at. 5 doesn't help you at all. 5 is completely pointless. 4 is perfect. Anything below 4 is gonna cost you a bit of time, but not too much. If you're not at 1, if you're at 0, you are in a really bad position. You want to have at least 1. Anything above 1, up to 4 saves you time. So if you're really low, like on if you're on like 0-1, you absolutely want to kill this Gemer. You want to jump up here, kill him, and potentially get a drop for him. If you're at 3, then maybe, like if you're at on 2 or 3, then sure, it might not be a bad idea. If you're at 4, don't do it. Like if you're on 2 and 3, he has to drop a missile for it to be worth it. But it does save time if it gives you a missile. It saves like a second or 2 if you actually get the drop in the next room. But like I said, 5 is completely pointless. I already have 4 here because I luck manipulated a tiny bit. I want to mention too, this slope changes how high you jump. Like that might be obvious when I point it out, but it might take a while to realize. So at certain heights, you can't make this jump. Like if you jump too early, if you're too early on the slope, you can't make this jump. You want to go like over here or something to get up there. And you can also, this is way harder than it is in other circumstances, but you can totally morph in here or morph in the air as well to get up there. I usually don't do it because it's way harder than in other places, for me at least. It might just be because we're jumping to the left. But know that it's possible. Going over here. So coming up on the dreaded Hive room. Hive room has been a pain in the ass for every speedrunner for a while. We recently found a pretty good solution for it though. But this room you just run through. Those bugs might catch up to you. That's not a big deal. They are very, very random. And it's hard to give a good way to deal with them. Like they're either gonna hit you or they're not. Right around this jump, they might be able to hit you. If you can see that they're closing in on you and you can tell like, oh, I'm gonna get hit, try to get knocked to the right, so you get like knocked over and at least land on this part. You don't want to land the acid. Sometimes you're gonna land the acid anyway. It's really hard to get around, but you want to try not to. You want to try land over here. Getting hit, the damage isn't a big deal, but it slows you down. So this room is so dumb. This room is like really stupid. If you're really adventurous and really trying to like optimize things to a degree I do not recommend at all. Like no one does this, but it is possible to not grab this missile tank. There's a missile tank behind here, and it is possible to make a route. That is a pretty slow missile, and it's possible to like get through this without it. But it makes this room so much more consistent. Like for this room alone, I'll almost grab that missile tank. If you're trying to get down to like a 40 and 6. Oh, I'm sorry. If you're trying to get down to a 40 missile 6 super missile route, this might be a missile to skip, but I don't recommend it. This missile is really useful. So I'm just gonna demonstrate this room while grabbing that one, and if you decide to not grab it, you're gonna have to find your own stat through this room, and I wish you good luck. But anyway, you want to jump up here and shoot this thing, and shoot this hive. Use enough missiles that you go down to 1. Like if you have 2 missiles, use 1 missile. If you have 3 missiles, use 2, and if you have 4 or above, use 3. They die from 3 missiles and 2 normal shots, so using 4 missiles is completely irrelevant, even if you have 5, which is why I said 5 is pointless. The reason you want 1 missile left after killing that hive, and the reason is that with the missile expansion, that puts you at 6, which is just enough to kill these 2 other hives, which also take 3 missiles and 2 normal beams. So it's just math. So you want to get over here, try to run into a bug if possible. Like try to react if there's a bug or not and run into them. Do not run into the Hive. Running into the Hive is bad. Running into the Hive takes like 16 damage or something. Okay, 14 damage. Running into a bug does like 3. I guess 5, so no. Well, running into a bug does way less damage, and you want to try that to make sure you don't die. So that's really quick. If you don't have, like, let's say you only have 2 missiles now, you use the 1, and then you have to mash the rest and then run through. Getting a feel for when the Hive's gonna die takes a while, but it's useful. Otherwise, you can just react. You can just tell, oh, it died, and run. It's not really that timing specific. But you want to go down to 1 missile. I usually aim downwards here. I'm not even sure that helps. It might be a placebo effect by now. It's my point with that is to try and hit less bugs. Like, try to minimize the risk of accidentally shooting a bug with a missile. But I'm not even sure it helps. I just do it anyway now. It doesn't hurt. I screwed that up. I was trying to shoot missiles too quickly. No, so we'll grab this tank. Then there are a few ways through this room. I'm going to first of all demonstrate the way that always works. This is really slow, and you should try to not do this unless you're like really new to the genre, the game. Sorry. If you're really new to the game, you want to try doing this, but it's slow, and you should upgrade to at least one or the other strats I'm gonna show later. But the stable way is the double fall. So you jump into this. You jump in there makes these bugs, the bugs that are following you from the first Hive, follow you higher up, and that makes this path more clear. So you probably do want to jump. You jump into a bug, then you fall down, then you walk over here, jump up again, shoot 3 missiles and 2 beams quickly. Quicker than I was doing there because I was trying to talk at the same time. Oops. You can also shoot while jumping here. And get a few hits in. Then you'll bump here and do the same thing, fall down, go all the way back over here, and you can shoot already here. You can start shooting missiles and hit the Hive, which is now empty, by the way. Like all the flies go after you hit them. Oops. I did that completely wrong because I'm confusing strats with each other. Like, I'm fall down twice. I haven't done this in a while, so you can shoot already. Like, this strat is really easy and really consistent, but it is slow. It's slow as balls. So try not to do that unless you're really new. The strat we were using for a long time, which I'm not even sure I can demonstrate right now. It's so inconsistent and rare. So there's a way to, like, you want to jump here and try to get knocked towards the Hive somehow. It's sort of random and depends on the bug positions, which are really unpredictable. And you want to get hit to the right. I like managed to get over here anyway. So you want to damage boost through everything in order to hit the thing, and then do the same for the other Hive. This is what we used to do. We used to try and do this, and if we failed, like if we couldn't get over there, we did the double fall method. This was back when Hive Room was horrible. I have a demonstration. I have a... Please be quiet. I have a demonstration movie file. Hang on. So this is how the room would look when you do. This is slightly tool assisted because I had a hard time getting this recorded at all. So I did a slight tool assistance to get this working. But you want to get knocked to the right, then kill that thing, and then get knocked to the right again, And that's the fastest way through the room, but it like doesn't work. It's so hard. So just leave it alone. But know that it's a possibility if you ever want to push for really fast times. No one does this in single segment. Like none of the runners do this in single segment anymore. Maybe like if you're trying to do a segmented run, or if you're like, I guess a few people might potentially do this if they like. I know Sam occasionally feels like, oh, if the run he's doing was perfect, he transitions into trying to get a good segment instead of doing his single segment run, which is viable, I guess. So like if he feels he has I'm talking about Sam the Digital, by the way, who's the world record holder. If he feels that this run, which at the moment is a single segment run, is pretty much perfect, he's gonna go for the fast Hive room strat, and if he gets that, he's gonna try and get a good segment in time instead. But that's like the only reason people do this. The other strats are sort of similar. There's something that I'm pretty sure Mobius Man found this, but I'm not completely sure. Where you do the first fall normally anyway, and then you sort of wait here, right in the middle of this block. You wait for a while for the bugs behind of you to catch up, and you try to get damage boosted by them, because that's way easier to get damage boosted in the correct way, like in the correct direction. So you wait here for like a second, and then you jump. I haven't done this in a while actually, so there, you try to do that, and that's like so much more consistent than the old strat. So this is what you probably should do. This is the faster strat. It's still sort of hard and still sort of dependent on bug positions, and you might still like waste a missile on a bug like I just did. I accidentally hit one of the bugs instead of the Hive, and you might fall down trying to kill the Hive. It's still sort of annoying. The strat most people use, this was found fairly recently, the one most people use in signal segments, which is the most consistent strat, is the method to lure the bugs early. So you go here, you don't jump here, you just run off. You might want to shoot some shots to get a few hits on the Hive, but you just run off and go all the way over here and do a jump. And that grabs, like that makes the flies over there follow you. And you can just clear everything up. This is like a second or two slower than the faster strats, but it's so consistent. It works every time. It is harder than the double fall, but it's. And if you screw something up, like if you whoops, and now the bugs can be really annoying. I guess they went right there. You have to be fast there as well. This strat is really good and really nice, and you should be using this. You can also just do a straight jump there and shoot if that feels better to you. I like doing the spin jump. See, this is bad. So Hive room is never good, but this is the best. This is the most consistent Hive room that we've found so far. Ah, crap. Oops. I still need to jump here. Like I jump here, so I do a spin jump. And that was bad. That was bad luck, because the bug got me anyway. If you're really lucky here, you can get a damage boost to the left. And it helps a lot. Even when I do my normal spin jump, I don't attract all the bugs. If you shoot the Hive, all the bugs come after you straight away. You get everyone. But when I do the spin jump, I don't actually get everyone, but I get all the ones that are in the way. The ones that aren't attracted are at the top, and that's not a big deal. Oh, this is really bad too. The saves. Bad saves. Oh, I hate Hive room so much. So like, this still isn't super like it's pretty consistent, but it's still not perfect. You can still get screwed over by this room. This room is horrible. But anyway, that's fairly good. So we're pretty good now. Coming up here, there is a missile block hidden, or missile expansion hidden in 4 blocks. You want to try to get this without slowing down. It's sort of hard though. It depends on when you start shooting. Like if you often want to try to shoot 2 shots diagonally down and then 2 shots forward. Or 1 down, 2 forward and 1 down again. That also works. It depends on like how fast you shoot, how fast you can start shooting, like how well you can time the first part. I usually do 2 down, 2 forward, and then if I didn't hit anything, I like shoot another one. So to get all of them, so I shoot 2 down. And if I'm really good, that happens. If you get a perfect shot. And that happens, so you can get through them. If you for some reason didn't kill the Brinstar worm, he's gonna appear again here. Since you just got a missile tank, you should be fine to kill him the same way. It's like just do exactly the same as you did earlier. And again, if you kill him, just like leave it alone and go get charge beam on the way back. If you had trouble with Hive rune, you're gonna get an energy tank here, so it's not like that big of a deal. And again, you don't have to jump in. These tiny things, these are tiny, but they're important. They save so much stress. So this gives you full health anyway. So even, no matter how bad your Hive rune was, you're good to go here. I try to hit 2 blocks here. It's not really important. You only have to destroy the bottom block. But if you do, you're gonna hit this thing and land, which costs frames and makes this jump out a bit harder. So I try to shoot a normal shot and then the diagonal shot to destroy both blocks. It's no biggie. There are a couple of ways to do this. That guy, let's see if I can get RNG where he's actually an asshole. He's an asshole sometimes. He should be an asshole 50% of the time, so it's... I'm getting... My RNG is too good. Come on, dude. I know you can do this. What? Come on, dude. Please. RNG is completely time-based, so because I'm loading save states, I get the same RNG every time, but if I wait... There we go. So he can go on the left. If he goes to the left, he's gonna hit you when you try to do the normal way, which is... you can do this either by jumping pretty early, like over here-ish, like before you get down to the lower part of the ground and actually make that jump without doing a wall jump. Or you can jump here and do a wall jump up here. It doesn't matter. But after you do that, you want to do... Whoops, you don't want to fall down. After you get up, you want to do... Get up here, your normal jump into wall jump up there. But I was trying to point out is that this guy can go in the wrong way occasionally, and he's gonna hit you. He is gonna hit. I wanna get a good RNG. Or bad RNG, rather. There we go, good. Okay, so he's probably gonna hit you, like gonna fall down. Even if you do the wall jump strat, he's right there. There are a couple of ways to deal with this. You can do the fast way, which is to shoot a missile right before you jump. This is sort of precise though, and it's very easy to like shoot the missile too early and miss, or not shoot the missile at all, or shoot the missile too late, whatever. Actually, maybe not. Like you can shoot too early, but it's... So that's the faster way. It's pretty stressful to be honest. It wasn't as hard as I remember it to be, but it's pretty stressful. Another way is to jump and shoot. Like none of these actually react to the guy, So if he's in, I would do this anyway. I would just shoot the missile, and if he's in a like if he's in a good position anyway, I don't really care. I just wasted a missile no matter what. I'm just gonna assume he's in a bad position. And like I said, you can also go into the room, do a normal jump like that. You can go up here, or you can jump through the door. You can do that and shoot immediately. All of these are viable, and it's very mixed what people do. People do whatever feels right to them, like most strats. Do whatever feels comfortable. I might try switch. I might switch this actually. You know, like see it makes it's so much more complex. It just adds ways to fail, but it is faster. So I mean, fast is good. These guys on the bottom part are pretty much never in your way. They have a bit of RNG to them, but they're always like you can always just run. If you're fast, you can always just run and jump up here, and there's no pattern that stops that. Though this streamer has a occasionally, let's see. Come on, that's not what I tried to do. I want to try and get both patterns here. I'm sorry for this excessive state saving. Come on, dude. There we go. So he can move to the right, and he's way more in the way. And when he moves to the right, if you do this perfectly, you like I tend to get hit here if I jump too well. You wanna hit him with a missile or 2 shots if you're really good, like that. But I feel that if I do that too quickly, I get hit a lot of the time. I'm not getting hit now though. Maybe I usually do this wrong. I don't know. Oh, whatever. So I usually wait a split second after landing here before jumping up. Maybe I don't need to do that. As soon as I start trying to do this, as soon as I start doing this quickly in runs, I'm gonna get hit again. There we go. That's what usually happens when I try to do that too fast. But I like this is reactable. I have my diagonal aiming and my missile at the ready, but I can react if he's there or not, and like shoot or not shoot. So it's like, oh, he's going the other way, so you jump up, and you can either jump over him if you want to save a missile, or you can shoot a missile if you want to be a few frames faster. That depends. That missile might be useful for a heal skip later on. I'll get into heal skip later after we grab bombs, which is pretty much right now. So I should mention that there is a thing known as heal skip, where we usually heal at Ice Beam in Norfair, but you can skip that if you get decent drops and have good execution. These bugs are hell. Okay, I almost wanted to show. I have no saves. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I almost want to show what a troll looks like, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to replicate it. Okay, no, these are good bugs. These bugs are completely random. There's no way to manipulate anything like useful. This is what I this is what I personally do. People do this different ways, but I do. People remorph here. Might mention how a remorph works. A remorph is when you are morphed and you're falling, and to avoid a bounce, you unmorph and remorph, which means you don't bounce. In this particular instance, it doesn't make a difference. Remorphing is only really useful right in front of morph ball tunnels. So if anyone is actually doing remorphs there, you should probably stop. Outside of tool assist does that all the time, but tool assist is what it is. If you ever remorph where there's not a morph ball tunnel, you're wasting frames. You're likely wasting frames because of human execution. At tunnels it's fine, because bouncing is really bad at tunnels. But whatever, you go over here, bomb that thing, move back a bit, and then you start bombing the floor. I bomb with 3 bombs at a time, going back and forth. So I do bomb, pa pa pa, pa pa pa, pa pa pa. And that should be it. Like, you do it 3 times. 3 bombs 3 times, so it's 9 bombs total. And that kills almost all of them, most of the time. And then I do a final bomb on top of me for every bug that managed to latch onto me, which is potentially quite a few. And then you just, if there are stragglers left, you just run over them and make them grab you and then bomb yourself over here. So that's how I do the room. This is, like, this room is super inconsistent no matter what to do, so you can just like go crazy with the bombs as well if you can like do this if you want to, but they get more spread out. And it's harder to tell when they're supposed to end. Like, they're still pretty consistent. Occasionally, and this usually kills almost all of them. You can occasionally get troll, which is where 1 or 2 bugs just refuse to go down, and there's nothing you can do about that. That's just RNG. There's no way to manipulate the bugs. There's no way to kill them when they're up here. So if they decide to like not jump down, that's nothing you can do to change that. It's just gonna happen. So it happens a lot that you think you killed all the bugs, then you go up and the door doesn't start blinking, and you're like, what's going on? And then a bug falls down. It's so annoying. But just keep in mind that there's nothing you can do. It's just luck. See, that was a semi-troll. This room is nothing special. You want to try to not get hit, because I guess you're trying to do hill skip. Most people should be at least, like, it's a good idea to at least plan for hill skips, like slightly. But if these guys at the bottom are assholes, you're gonna get hit. Getting this guy to miss you is also sort of hard. Like, if he's over here, you can probably take the damage and try to use the invincibility to get through the rest of them. This room is... I don't know a good way to get through this room, to be honest. I just kind of wing it every time. I don't have a real strat for this. I'm sure some people do. And going back to, like, nothing special really happens going back to Norfair. You just kinda, like, all of this is cleared out from your past run. If you kill the Brinstar one late, charge him is gonna be there, grab it. It's probably won't be though. If you're in this, when in this room, do wall jumps, you're up here. Or if you don't want to do wall jumps for some reason, you can go here. You can go, you can't make this jump, so you need to get over to this hill. If you don't want to wall jump. Did I really? I did. Okay, cool. Good job. So I guess we need to get back there. Wall jump. You can do a thing. I think I'm the only one who does this. There is You can do a spin shot here in order to like not bonk the thing. A spin shot is where you press A and B at on the same frame. Like this it's sort of hard to see. Like, do you see? Like, if I shoot there, it hits there, but if I do a spin shot, it doesn't even reach the thing. If I show you in frame advance, it makes more sense, I guess. So if you shoot normally, the shot spawns at your cannon. But if you do a spin shot, it spawns at your legs. Like, it spawns at the back of her sprite. Like, you see how according to her sprite, her arm cannon is right here about now because she's holding the arm kind of downwards. So it makes the shot spawn in weird locations. It's also possible in the air. It does like weird things to your shot spawning. But it is frame perfect. Like, it's hard to call it frame perfect. You have to press A and B on the same frame. You can't push them sort of at the same time. You have to push them exactly at the same time, and that's a bit harder than one might think. So I don't know. I'm not sure if most people don't do this because they don't know or because they don't want to. I'm not sure. I guess I haven't really told people. I just do it all the time. But if you do a spin shot here, you're not gonna hit the... Like, you can't hit the door from here. Like, the angle doesn't work. It's not possible. You can do it with a missile if you're good. It's sort of tight though, and you don't want to waste missiles. But if you do this, you're gonna hit the wall. I mean, this is frames. This is sort of pointless because you're only losing frames, but you're hitting that wall and you're losing momentum. If you do a spin shot, you clear the wall and you open the door. So I mean, it's a fun thing to do. None of this is interesting. This room works exactly the same as the last time, except we're coming from the right. So you want to hit this wall instead, like this wall. Pow, hit the wall and you're in perfect position for everything. And then just do it exactly the same, morph, unmorph, fall down, maybe get hit, maybe don't. And this is interesting because recently there's been talk about switching to RTA timing methods, to timing real time instead of in-game time. I'm gonna explain strats that help both ways, pretty much. But I'm mostly gonna assume you're running for in-game time because that is still the standard as of the making of this video. So for in-game time, grabbing charge beam is definitely worth it. For real time, it's sort of it's weird because all of this time is real time. In-game time isn't running right now. But I still recommend grabbing charge beam unless you're really confident without going without it. It's super useful in Chozodia later on to kill pirates. Killing pirates with only plasma ice is pretty annoying. With charge beam that is trivialized, so it's really useful later on. So I suggest grabbing it anyway. If you're considering not grabbing it, you need to know what you're doing. You need to be sure that that's a good idea. Kill these things. If possible, try to get drops from these things because of heal skip. If you're trying to do heal skip, you want to try and get drops from these. The way getting drops from this guy is just precise jumping. I'm really bad at that, but if you jump, if you shoot him early and jump well, you should get the drop. These guys, it's harder. If you shoot them perfectly, you should get the drop like regardless, I think. Like if you do, I think if you do a frame perfect shot, yeah, you can get the drop, but it's hard. I usually wait a couple of frames. I shoot it and then wait. Like I shoot, but wait for like a tiny bit once I land to get the drop. And same for this guy. If you know you're not going for heal skip, if you are you're really sure you're not gonna try heal skip, grabbing these drops is just a waste of time. They are not needed anywhere. You don't need missiles anywhere in Warfare. Having 2 right here is useful, but you're likely gonna have that anyway. Just from how the strats work out. Like, you're not really using enough missiles to go below 2, even if you get no drops after High Room. So having 2 is fine. If you are going for heal skip, you kind of want as many as possible. Like, this is a pretty bad ammo count for going for heal skip. You want to be at you'd want to be at like full health and 4 missiles pretty much, or above. This is sort of bad. Oops. Oops. See, this is better. This is a very doable heal skip. So that concludes Brinstar. We'll get into Norfair next. That's gonna be a separate video. So see you then. I'm gonna save here. I'm gonna save right after this cutscene actually. There we go. Okay, so next video is Norfair. Oh my god, this Brinstar is complicated. This took a lot of time. But whatever, okay.